this question is for all of y'all. The moment when your name was announced, like what were all the emotions that went through your mind? We'll start with Sadhvi.
Shock, and I was also shaking.
And what about you, Rajanali?
Surreal, something I've always wanted to do, and I've always wanted to be a part of this stage. So extremely grateful.
Shreya.
A lot of mixed emotions, gratitude, stunned to speak, but then at one point I feel I went really numb and calm on stage.
Maybe y'all can share one backstage moment that you can't forget. Maybe a funny moment, maybe something like a touching moment. So you can start.
Yes. So I think it's common for all of us. Before we all stepped on the stage, all the contestants kind of came together, were holding hands, and we were all praying together for the best outcome, for everything to unfold in the most beautiful way. And I remember contestants saying the Hanuman Chalisa to Gayatri Mantra, everything that we possibly can to channel the most divine power in that moment.
And Sadhvi, anything you want?
I think we had a moment when I think Advaita was also there.
Yeah.
And we just danced it out. Like as the music was playing and the performances were happening, we just danced it out to feel a little less nervous.
What about you?
For me, there was this one particular moment where Sadhvi and I were roommates in the accommodation.
Oh, wow.
And we were also very thick friends. We dreamt this together, and then backstage, right before I think going on to the top 15, we just held each other, wished each other luck, and just gave that final glance at each other. I think that meant it all.
So, Sadhvi, this is for you.
Yeah.
So, you work with construction, and it's a very unique, a lot of women don't get into that field very easily.
Correct.
So, tell me like a moment where you felt like, okay, this is the path for me, or this is something I want to pursue. What made you want to pursue that?
I think this is largely the influence of my best friend.
Okay.
She's an architect, and we were thinking of what best we can do with both of our talents combined together. And because I have an economics background, I thought, okay, you know what? मैं finances संभाल लूँगी, तुम details संभाल लेना, and we'll work it out. So I think it was that like complete trust that we had in each other, that we were like, you know what, even if this field seems challenging, it's also very creative, right? Like how you build these structures and everything. And we were like, ये एक impact छोड़ के जाना, this should be our legacy. So that's how we got into it.
You've also stayed abroad. You've
Yes.
lived away for a while. Did you have like a moment where you felt extremely lonely, and how did you get through it?
I did. In fact, like I think the first 1.5 years, I did feel quite lonely because my parents also didn't come to drop me off because they didn't get their visas by then. And it is quite a bit of an isolating experience, if I may. And I think the one thing that helped me was that I started going to different activities that were happening around campus, like dance workshops, puppy yoga, or like pottery, beekeeping, all of these things, where I picked up a lot of things that I practice today as well. And I think stepping into these spaces where people are so eager to experiment helped me meet more like-minded people, and then that's how I made friends.
What is puppy yoga?
So basically, they get like a few
Yeah.
puppies, and then you do yoga with the puppies. So then, because the energies are so calm, sometimes the puppies fall asleep on your lap and everything.
They play around you.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's too good, yeah.
So for Rajnandini, so you work with women farmers, right? So tell me about one day in the field where you met someone that really changed you or moved you.
So there's this story that I had the honor of being a witness to, is how I'd rather put it. My mother also had worked extensively under an initiative called Prerna.
Okay.
So I have the honor of, kind of working through this with her, through her guidance as well. And there's this one woman farmer specifically who was in her mid-50s and above, and who didn't know how to read or write or how to do her finances, and basically only was stuck to the everything related to the soil, from plowing to seeding and all of that. But she really had this innate interest to learn and how to read or how to write, because a lot of things today you need those basic
Yeah.
skills to further forge ahead for independence financially, and also just to have a educational support. And I think we had an opportunity to talk to her. My mother really made her understand the importance of you can still start. Your age does not have to be a limit, and your age does not have to be a limiting factor for you to learn something new. Because if you are a learner for life, you technically never grow old.
Yeah.
So I think it really hit her that why am I not learning now? And she started learning and writing. It was just a push of belief that we gave her, nothing else beyond that. But I think that push of belief, after a year or two, she contacted us back, and she told my mother that now she can also write.
Oh wow.
And in a way, a life has been changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think moments like this really stick with you, that sometimes people don't need huge efforts, huge resources to change lives. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of motivation, a little push of belief. And I think that is what this platform also provides. As Femina Miss India, if even one girl from the entire country is inspired to do something because of us sitting here today,
Yeah.
then our purpose here is done.
That's so beautiful, actually. You also are very athletic, and you've been part of so many sports. So, has there been a time when you were in your sports journey where you felt like, you broke down, or you felt like, and one time when you felt you accomplished something phenomenal?
I think sports for me has always been a side where I get to have fun, let loose, and enjoy. I enjoy a lot of outdoor sports, a lot of movement, and just a lot of teamwork and camaraderie, because I have a lot of friends. My brother is somebody who's such a huge sports enthusiast, and my entire family is athletic in that way. We have like sports days,
Oh.
family designated, so we're very athletic, very competitive like that. So for me, it stems from having fun and having that some sort of leeway to get away and to indulge movement. And I started young from my school years, so there was moments, sports, it's very common, you lose a match, you win one.
Yeah.
It's very common, and I think sports, what it taught me is that when you pour in effort into something and back it up by discipline and consistency, you will keep getting better at it.
Yeah.
And that is what I try to incorporate daily in my life as well. I don't feel I've achieved something in the sports arena. It's a huge, huge competitive field in the most beautiful way. But I know that every single time I want to have fun and team up with my family, my friends, sports is something that will always have my
So,
back.
it's your escape too.
Kind
Yeah.
of, yes. I absolutely enjoy anything related to adventure, sports, something that allows us to live life.
So, Dr. Shri Advaita, I read that you had a very bad injury.
Yeah.
So take me back to how your recovery was like, and what made you eventually, like, at the time when you eventually felt like, okay, now I can get back to following my dreams.
So the spine condition that I had, it started off without any reason as such, and it was a very sudden onset condition. One day I'm just sitting in my class in college, and boom, I burst out with pain. And I was taken to the hospital, diagnosed, I got myself scanned, and there was this slight anomaly in the disc of my spinal cord. But what happened is this started pre-COVID, but throughout the course of 2 to 3 years, it kept getting aggravating. And I remember, especially the second half of COVID, I was entirely confined to the four walls of my home. I was only in my room, and I needed support to even get up from bed and go to the restroom. I wouldn't want to go into the details of the condition as such, but what really helped me is at a point when doctors had given up and everyone was clueless about it, there was no reason to it, especially me being so young and healthy, there was no reason for me to fall sick, especially with the injury that I had. The only thing that helped me is that despite being warned about restricting 90% of the activities, trust me, they did not even want me to run or walk. And here I am wearing heels today, wearing
Yeah.
6-inch stilettos and strutting my way through ramp walking. The only thing was I changed my narrative. I mean, yes, there are there might be complications and repercussions to what I am pursuing in life. But I didn't want to submit myself to what happened to me. I didn't want a condition to define me and my entire life in a very meaningless way. So I just thought, you know what? Let me use the multidynamic approach. So I did physiotherapy, I did rehab, I did a few medical procedures, I took medicines, I did yoga, Ayurveda. So I used all the resources that I could, and the basics, which is right here, right? So when I stopped asking, okay, for the longest time I kept asking, why did this happen to me? Why me? Why me? That is the common mentality we have. And then when I was like, you know what, it's done. Now let's move ahead, let's proceed, next chapter. That is when it really helped me. Even now, that is the mindset I have. Jo hona hai, hone do, but then I'll just keep moving ahead, forging towards life.
Yeah, and look where you've
Thank you so
reached.
much.
You've worked with a lot of young girls.
Yeah.
So tell me one incident, through your health work that really stayed with you, someone you met.
I remember the first large-scale medical camp that I was a part of. That was not a camp of my own, but then I was just a medical student, probably in the first or second year of college. And I was a volunteer, one of the volunteers organizing the camp. It was a pretty large-scale camp in Chennai. And I remember this one particular child who had a condition called cerebral palsy. And so this young girl was confined in a wheelchair, accompanied by her mum and her grandma. And I was just running around, doing all the work, volunteering work. And then suddenly I spot this girl. She's throwing a huge tantrum. I don't know why. And they're trying to convince her, console her, calm her down. But she's not able to, understand the situation and what's going on around her. So what I did, being a fresher in college, I didn't even know the intensity of the disease or how to, tackle a disease of that sort. I just knelt down beside her. I tried to play with her. I tried to show the videos in my phone. I tried doing everything possible, but nothing calmed her down. Ultimately, she fell in love with my hair because I braided my hair, and she fell in love with that, and she kept pointing at it, and she stopped crying at one point. And her mom was very sweet, and I made sure she got her tests sorted first, and I sent her home safely. And when I got thanked at the end of the day, for me, it was not that I was being helpful to someone, but it was the fact that I'm not in a position, God has not given me that position to undergo that suffering, one. And secondly, it's just that I could be of some use, even if it was the most silliest, even if it was of the most minor stature, I could be of some use, at least for that 10 minutes of the day. And that gave me a lot of peace. That is how I actually got inspired towards starting my own NGO and working towards women's health.
That's so cute and that's so beautiful. What is the one, now this is a group question, so what is the one moment, during this whole competition where y'all felt like not okay, or just felt like, a little like giving up, or probably a little misunderstood?
I wouldn't say I throughout the journey, I don't think I've ever felt like I wanted to give up or I felt misunderstood. Because be it any sub-contest or be it my personal interview, be it the grooming, the boot camp, I put my best foot forward. I gave it my all. But yes, there were moments when I felt a little maybe underconfident or a little apprehensive, probably because I am someone who's really open to opinions and perspectives. And what I did was I listened to a lot of the noise around me. I let people give me their opinions. Not only within the pageant zone, but even outsiders, judging from social media, from everywhere. And that is one thing now I think I shouldn't have done it, because that just gave me unnecessary anxiety, which was not really required.
Sadhvi?
I think when I was trying to navigate through what it is that I was supposed to bring to the table, but honestly, like, I don't think I've had like a moment of loneliness as such. I've made great bonds with her from day one. Then towards the end of our journey, like we were roommates, and when I fell sick, I was a little scared. We were both sick together, and that was about 4 days into the finale. So we were quite worried about our recovery. But again, being in it with somebody just sort of helped me get out of that, that gloomy and that
Yeah.
weird mindset that like, oh, my voice is going to be gone or all of that. You can really spiral in these moments,
Yeah.
but being with her and, taking care of each other just sort of helped me through it.
What about you?
I think for me, this entire experience has been fruitful. A lot of learnings, a lot of growth through these 30 days as well, and not just the prep that we've had before. For me, there's not been a single moment of giving up because I knew that I'm here to give it my all. So that is what I channelized my energy more on. And obviously, if there were moments where I thought that I need to learn something or how I can better put my foot forward the next day, then I tried working on that initially, and then portraying my best foot forward the next day. And I think it was a inclined process where my objective was to keep getting better day by day until we become who we want to.
So now we'll do like a fun segment. I'll ask you all some who's most likely to questions, and you all have to
Pointer.
point. Yeah, point. Who's most likely to sleep in late?
Sleep it?
Late.
Late.
Sleep at
Sleep in late.
Sleep
Yeah,
in late. Yeah.
probably.
I think even I sleep pretty late, but
She's worse.
Yeah, I'm worse.
Anytime when she didn't get up on time.
No, she doesn't sleep only. She'll sleep when I wake up. So it's completely opposite.
Who's most likely to cook a dish that you can never eat?
we haven't tested
Yeah.
cooking skills
You
yet.
can't tell.
But
So-
something, just y'all can just give a guess based on.
Based on
Come
it, I
in.
feel
Yeah, I think
I just doubt she might be not the greatest at cooking.
Who's most likely to date a red flag?
For some reason,
Yeah.
again, not really tested it out.
Least expected answer, least expected person.
Because she lives in her own fairy tale. She views the world with
And
rose-colored glasses.
exactly why I wouldn't.
No, I think she's very trusting and
Yeah.
she's very
She can be naive, a
chirpy
little.
and nice.
what
So
you
I think that's why. Oh, okay.
No, but I think they have it wrong. I don't know why I get that vibe from you.
I can assure you she's not.
She's not. She might.
Oh, Esther.
Who's most likely to text their ex?
She is capable of doing that under pressure.
You didn't give your answer. You also didn't.
I
give your-
don't. We've
know
never
them
discussed
that well.
anything
I don't
of
know
this
to-
sort, actually.
No, but you all would have
Actually-
known your personalities.
But I don't think.
We didn't have the time to really,
Yeah.
look into the person.
Yeah.
But I think this will all unfold over the due course of
Yeah.
time that
Yeah.
we'll be
Now,
spending.
maybe. So not yet. We're not
Yeah.
yet sure.
Who's most likely to spend most of their savings on makeup?
All these questions, I'm
No.
not able to figure out an answer for.
I think I might. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'll do a rapid fire, but individually. Okay.
Okay.
So first it'll be Sadhvi. One beauty hack that actually works for you.
Flipping your hair upside down and then like giving it like that voluminous whatever effect right after. It's like a quick fix to a day when you feel like very flat in terms of your hair.
One thing you never leave the house without.
Lip gloss.
Your go-to confidence hack before you step on stage or step out in general.
Listen to something upbeat.
One fashion rule you swear by.
I think understanding colors and matching it the right way. Like I don't experiment too much with too many different colors together, but just two complementing colors. Yeah, that I think is one thing you can follow.
Okay. So your biggest way to feel productive.
Put my shoes on and sit on my desk to feel like I have started my day.
One thing people may get wrong about you.
That I'm unapproachable.
Okay, next for Rajnandini. One fitness hack that is low effort but actually works for you.
I think walking after your dinner at night really just helps your body to calm down. And it's low effort, but it's helpful in a lot of ways.
Your pre-event, like getting on stage, your pump-up routine?
Yeah, I just take Bappa's name and I step onto this stage.
Okay.
That gives me energy and power.
One food you absolutely can't give up.
Pani Puri.
I
I
knew
think
this.
we all knew this coming. But it has to be anything related to chaat. Bhel, Pani Puri, Samosa chaat. I'm in for it.
It's a very Maharashtra thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's a very girl thing. I think
Yeah.
every girl loves chaat.
Flats or heels?
Heels.
One word your friends would use to describe you, but you're not.
I think my friends would really just describe me as a very fun, chirpy person.
Okay.
Bubbly.
A workout you hate doing, or an exercise you hate doing.
I think leg day is something that is very, very. It takes a lot out of me to actually, show up to the gym for a leg day. But if it's an upper body day, I'm usually more happier to attend.
Yeah,
that.
and the next 2 days are
And the next 2 days are traumatizing.
Yeah.
You can't sit, you can't get up. So I think.
Shri Advaita.
Yeah.
One health tip everyone should follow.
Do not prescribe yourself pills. Please go to the physician.
So, what is one skincare tip that you would like to give that works for you? Your mom's nuska or something like that.
The most basic Upton face masks, just face masks. I don't know if it's suitable for all skin types, but it really does suit me
Okay.
when I use just turmeric or sandalwood powder and some dahi. That really works well for me.
Okay. One habit that has changed your life.
I mean, I'm working on it. I'm going to be really honest to really minimize overthinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your sleep ritual, do you have something you do right before you
I'm
sleep?
terrible in sleep. Oh my god. Either I go days without sleeping or I sleep too much. I've really episodic sleep patterns. I need to get it rectified.
So, there's anything you do before getting to bed?
Nothing really helps me, but yeah, when I'm at home in Chennai, I make sure I cuddle with my dog for at least 5 minutes before going to bed. So yeah.
A way you deal with stress.
Just dance it out, or a workout, or a good workout really helps.
So, I would like to end this by asking what is, like, after knowing each other, how much ever you all know each other, what's one quality you all are taking away from one another? So, Rajnandini,
Yeah.
please.
I think from Sadhvi, it's her staying calm under pressure. She's a very sorted out person in that sense and very calm. I think even if the world around is going haywire, she still can, control and soothe herself. And she does not allow situations to affect her mental peace. So I think a great takeaway for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I think with Advaita, she has a very mature way of dealing with a lot of things and a very good way of thinking through stuff with clarity and maturity. And I think that sense also the fact that she's a doctor, I think it stems from that as well. But I get a big sister vibe from her. So a lot to learn in that sense.
Okay. Sadhvi?
I think her optimism and how she's always full of energy. Even on the days that all of us might not feel so energetic, she still brings that to the table. And from Advaita, I think it's her way of strategizing and her clarity. She's very good at making strategies and following through.
I think the main thing I realize about Rajnandini is that I love how much in love she is in with herself. So that is something I really would love to work upon myself. And from Sadhvi, I think I love how nonchalant she is and how she doesn't let the noise affect her. But yeah, we're quite similar in personalities, but I love this fact about her.
Okay, thank you so much, girls. It was a lot of fun talking to you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.